Hello dear students, I am Dr. Sharad Kumar, Assistant Professor, Department of Wildlife Sciences, Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh. In this lecture, I shall discuss about the in situ conservation of biodiversity. Introduction. India occupies 2.4% of the world's area, but it has around 8% of the world's total biodiversity, and thus it is one of the 17 mega diversity countries in the world. This designation India received on the basis of species richness and label of endemism recorded in a wide range of taxa of both plants and animals. This diversity in living form is the result of vast variety of landforms and climates, which in turn result in diverse habitat found in the India, ranging from tropical to temperate and from alpine to deserts. India is home to 96,000 species of animals, 47,000 species of plants, and nearly half of the world's aquatic plants. India, in addition to this, the country is one of the very important Babylonian center of biodiversity and origin of over 167 species of crops, 320 species of wild crop relatives, and several species of domesticated animals. The level of endemism is very high in India. For example, in animals, the rate of endemism in reptile is 33%, in amphibians 41%, in mammals 9%, and in birds 4%. So this data indicated that there is a very high diversity and there is a very high endemism in the biodiversity of India. But this immense biodiversity of India is under the pressure of various human activities, due to which many species are extinct and many are on the verge of extinction. Due to various threats, biodiversity of India is under threat and need conservation inputs. As the biodiversity is essential for the welfare of humans, so it is essential to have effective measures for the conservation of biodiversity. So, to ensure the long-term conservation of biodiversity of India, Indian government started the various programs for the conservation of our biodiversity. Now first understand what is conservation. Conservation is the protection, preservation, management or restoration of wildlife and natural resources such as forest and water. The conservation aimed to maintain ecological balance of life supporting system on the planet Earth. Through the conservation of wildlife and biodiversity and our natural resources, we can ensure the survival of many species and habitats which are threatened due to human activities. There are two basic conservation strategies, each composed of various techniques that the conservationist can adopt to conserve the biodiversity and natural resources once it has been located. Ex situ conservation. Conservation of component of biological diversity outside their natural habitat is known as the ex situ conservation of biodiversity. This strategy includes establishment of botanical gardens, zoos, conservation stands and gene, pollen seeds, seedlings, tissue culture and DNA banks. In situ conservation. Conservation of ecosystems and natural habitat and the maintenance and recovery of viable population of species in their natural surroundings, and in the case of domesticated or cultivated species, in the surroundings where they have developed their distinctive properties is known as the in situ conservation of biodiversity. This strategy includes the establishment of protected areas and managing the biodiversity in protected areas and the agriculture fields. Let's have a detailed discussion about the in situ conservation of biodiversity. In situ conservation is on-site conservation or the conservation of genetic resources in natural population of plants or animal species, such as forest genetic resources in natural population of tree species. It is the process of protecting an endangered plants or animal species in its natural habitat, either by protecting or by defending the species from predators. It is also applied to conservation of agricultural biodiversity in agroforestry by farmers, especially those using unconventional farming practices. In situ conservation maintains not only the genetic diversity of a population, but also the evolutionary interaction that allow it to adapt continually to shifting environmental conditions such as change in pest population or climate. Purpose and use of in situ conservation strategies. In situ management or conservation approaches can either be targeted at population of selected species, which is known as species centered approaches, or whole ecosystem based approaches. Both approaches follow the same purpose: to enable biodiversity to maintain itself within the context of the ecosystem in which it has been found. In other words, to enable a species population to self-replicate and maintain its potential for continued evolution. This requires conservation of the component of natural systems such as populations, species, communities, and biophysical system, as well as the ecological and evolutionary processes occurring within that system. Conservation measures are aimed at the surroundings where target species developed its distinctive properties. This could be a natural habitat or an environment heavily modified by human activities. For instance, agricultural or domestic species may have evolved characteristic traits in human dominated environments. The conservation of agricultural biodiversity therefore require the conservation of agro-ecosystem by farmers commonly using traditional farming practices. Examples of in situ conservation initiatives. Protected areas are the cornerstone of in situ conservation, as is outlined in Article 8 of the Convention on Biological Diversity. A protected area network may contribute to conservation of target species through the maintenance of target species and their habitat, as well as the conservation of natural or semi-natural ecosystem. There is, however, growing awareness of the importance of extending in situ conservation beyond protected areas. The socio-economic and political context around a threatened habitat may prevent the establishment of a success of a protected area, and the development of alternative in situ conservation management approaches may prove more useful in these situations. For instance, it was shown that protection of Indonesian coral reefs could be enhanced through the implementation of a management plan which included a cycle of open and closed harvesting of reef resources within prescribed locations. In situ conservation of biodiversity is not limited to the protected areas. There are many activities which government and conservationists are implementing for the in situ conservation of biodiversity beyond the protected areas. In situ initiative beyond the protected areas may include habitat restoration, recovery or rehabilitation of the species. There are some species whose habitat is already converted or already degraded. So if some initiative are taken by the government for the restoration of the such habitat, and these habitats are located outside the protected areas, then this also come under the in situ conservation of biodiversity. In addition to this, there are some population of the species which reached at a critical level. So adding some new individuals or the population augmentation is also the part of the in situ conservation of biodiversity. Implementation of strategies for sustainable use and management of biological resources is also the part of the in situ conservation. For example, promotion of LPG gas or energy efficient stoves instead of fuel wood as a source of energy is also the part of in situ conservation, because by reducing the dependency of local communities on natural habitat or the forest habitat, we can help in the conservation of various biodiversity values which are found inside that forest. Recovery programs for nationally or sub-nationally threatened or endangered wild species is also the part of in situ conservation of biodiversity. Indian government, in association with the various international organizations, is implementing various recovery programs for the various threatened species. So these are also the parts of in situ conservation of biodiversity. On farm agriculture biodiversity conservation targeted at traditional crop varieties and crop wild relatives is also the part of in situ conservation of biodiversity. So Indian government is running various programs for the conservation of crop varieties outside the protected areas to ensure the conservation of various crops of the India which are originated or which have origin in Indian landscapes. Genetic reserve conservation, that means monitoring of genetic diversity in natural wild population with a delineated area known as genetic sanctuaries or genetic management zone, is also the part of the in situ conservation beyond the protected areas. Control of threats to biodiversity such as invasive alien species, living modified organisms or overexploitation is also the part of the in situ conservation beyond the protected areas. Government of India implemented various programs to control the invasive alien species or to curb the spread of these species in the forested habitat. So this is also the part of conservation initiative beyond the protected areas. Preservation and maintenance of traditional knowledge and practices is also the part of in situ conservation of biodiversity beyond the protected areas, because by conserving the traditional knowledge, we can help the future conservation of the biodiversity. Implementation of the regulatory legislations, management or other frameworks needed to deliver the protection of species or habitats is also the part of the initiative which are implemented outside the protected areas. For example, Indian government have enacted the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 or Biological Diversity Act 2002 for the conservation of wildlife and the biodiversity, or you can say that to provide the framework for the implementation of various policies which aimed at the conservation of biodiversity and wildlife. Protected Area Network of India. Protected areas are those in which human occupation or at least the exploitation of resources is limited, and these areas are very important for the long term conservation of biodiversity of India. So let's learn about the definition of protected areas. Fourth World Congress on National Park and Protected Areas, held in Caracas, Venezuela in 1992, defined the protected areas as areas of land or sea especially dedicated to the protection and maintenance of biological diversity and of natural and associated cultural resources and managed through legal or other effective means. The definition that has been widely accepted across regional and global frameworks has been provided by the International Union for Conservation of Nature in its categorization guideline for the protected areas. And as per the IUCN, a protected area is a clearly defined geographical space recognized, dedicated and managed through legal or other effective means to achieve the long-term conservation of nature with associated ecosystem services and cultural values. There are several kinds of protected areas in India which vary by level of protection depending on the enabling law of each country or the regulation of the international organization involved. The term protected area also include marine protected areas, the boundary of which will include some areas of oceans, and the transboundary protected areas that overlap multiple countries which remove the borders inside the area for conservation and economic purposes. PH in India comprises national park, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, community reserves and tiger reserves. It does not include any reserve forests. These categories of the protected areas are declared through the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Protected area has been defined in the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and section 224A says that protected areas means a national park, a sanctuary, conservation reserve, community reserves. These are notified under chapter 4 titled protected areas. A tiger reserve on the other hand is notified under chapter 4B titled National Tiger Conservation Authority. Since all notified core or critical tiger habitats of tiger reserves are either sanctuaries or national park with tiger population, they get considered as protected areas. This is a mandatory by section 38(5)(4)(1) However, it must be clarified that buffer or peripheral areas notified under section 38(5)(4) second cannot include sanctuaries or national park, and hence they will not have the status of protected area. These includes ecologically sensitive areas that surround the protected areas. India's protected area network has the following kinds of protected areas: national park, wildlife sanctuaries, conservation reserves, community reserves. In addition to this, we also have sites of conservation importance such as elephant reserves, tiger reserves, Ramsar sites, sacred groves, important bird areas, important biodiversity areas. But except tiger reserves, no site of conservation importance have any legal status as per the legislation of India, and they are created based on some convention, treaty or policy of Government of India. Protected areas of India as on July 2023. So we have like the first category is national park. We have 106 national park in India, and these 106 national park is spread over an area of 44,402.94 square kilometer, which is roughly 1.35% of total geographical area of India. Wildlife sanctuaries, we have 573 wildlife sanctuaries in India, and these sanctuaries is spread over an area of 1,27,197.55 square kilometer, which is around 3.87% of the total area of India. Community reserves, we have 220 community reserves in India, and these reserves are spread over an area of 1,455.15 square kilometer, which is roughly 0.04% of the total area of India. Conservation reserves, we have 123 conservation reserves in India, and these reserves spread over an area of 5,585.05 square kilometer, which is 0.17% of the total area of the India. And when we look at the last two categories, community reserves and conservation reserves, these are the very small protected areas, as they are just covering less than 1% of the total area of the India. So the total area of the India which is under the protected area is 1,78,640.69 square kilometer, which is 5.53% of the total geographical area of the India, as the total geographical area of the India is 32,87,263 square kilometer. The details of these protected areas will be discussed in a separate lecture. Thank you.